Morning guys, it's John, ReelBlue Custom Rods, and welcome back to the channel. And today I am fishing with my personal brand, my GP 700 by ReelBlue Custom Rods, 7 foot 6 to 12 pound test rod, and a matching close, not exactly close color to the sea foam, but close enough, I think, a matching Sui Ling spinning reel. And I will have a link to the spinning reel below and to my 700 series rods, my GP 700 series rods, if you will. I'm out here looking for a bite. And this morning, I'm fishing a wacky nickel rig, but I'm using the Strike King. It's a Kevin Van Dam line. It's the Ocho 8 sides, but it's a 5-inch, and which is what I like to use. But I guess it's a sweet potato pie color, I think is what it is. So it's got some yellows, a little green, a little orange, and a little black in there. So we're trying to see how that is going to work out. So what I like to do is just let this thing fall. I'm using a tungsten weight at the bottom. And this lake has a bit of milfoil, so I just kind of like to pop it through the milfoil. And then, of course, sometimes get a little grass on there, and you got to get that off. All right. Trying to find the bite. Fish on. Fish on. Fish on, Catherine! Oh, this is nice. Sweet potato pie. Oh, he's a nice one, man. He is a nice one. Catherine! Yeah. Sure. Oh, this stuff stinks. Wow. That's a beauty right there. Holy shit. Sweet potato pie. That's on the Ocho Strike King sweet potato pie. Holy crap, I can't get the whole thing in there. Look at that. Holy shit.
You want to put him in the net so you can leave him in the water for a sec?
Yeah.
Sweet. Look at that one.
Catherine, I couldn't even get that thing. Let me get that hook out. He was stuck down in there.
In the weeds?
Yeah. Let me get him in the water a little bit. Catherine, he hit that sucker, and then I thought I was snagged at the end. I was like, wait a minute, I know there's a fish on there.
Yeah.
He was under those weeds trying to break me off.
Nice. Look at that one. Fish. Woo. Hold on now, buddy.
All the way to the end. 18.
Nice.
18 inches.
Sweet. First fish of the day.
That is a beaut right there.
Nice.
Holy crap. Get him back in here. You want your net back? Do you want me to rinse it?
What's that?
This?
I usually like just dip it in the water and then
Like that?
yeah.
You want it back?
Yeah, let me back up.
There you go. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you the net back too. All right. There you go. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful fish. Wow. There you go, buddy. He hit that thing. All right, so back to the video. So what I've done is I've been using these clear gasket. So usually use the O-rings for the wacky worm, but I've been using these other clear ones, and I'll have a link to the description in the description below. But basically, instead of fishing that hook parallel with the worm, I have it perpendicular to it, so that way when it's coming through the water column, the fish can grab it and hook up. And that was awesome. That was awesome. Thanks, Catherine.
Yeah. Sweet potato pie for the win.
Sweet potato pie for the win. Beautiful. All righty. That's a good start to the morning right there. All right. A little excitement this morning. Oh, that milfoil stinks. Smells like skunk. The came out a little bit earlier this morning. The water is flat. And we're just kind of moving around a little bit, but the water is flat as can be. It's really nice. And I just, as you saw, I just let that worm sink down to the bottom. So let's get back to the rod, right? So this is my GP 700. I tried to make this rod as light as I possibly can. I went with an Alps graphite reel seat with a carbon insert. Has a downward locking nut with another one on top, with security lock on top, a second one right here. Went with Win charcoal camouflage split grips. So just a short one at the top, short one at the bottom. I'm really not using much handle, if you will. And I just went with a very short, same thing, Win, but fighting butt on the bottom. Left that all exposed blank. A little bit of gray wrap. So I only used gray wrap on here. And I think I set this up for like elite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 guides plus a tip top. And again, this is the GP 700, but you can see I just did some gray thread wrap on here. And then I did a little marbling in the pigment work here with kind of a seafoam green metallic marbling. So you're getting a little bit of that metallic marbling and the blank popping through there. And then of course the decal for the GP 700. And again, I will have a link to these rods that I make in the description below, and the reel that I've I just got this reel. I actually bought it on Amazon, and I got it, one, because it's a, hold on a second. Oh, I just got hit. One, because it's a Sugi Lang. Something small. One, because of the Sugi Lang. It's a Sugi Lang. And two, because of the color. I really wanted something to match this rod. And it's not an exact seafoam color match. They call it green, but it is a seafoam color that matches. Of course, the metallic piece is more of a blue in my opinion, but the rest of the seafoam color is a pretty close match. And again, I built this rod to be as light as possible. And of course, I wanted to put a pretty light reel on it as well. So it's one, you don't even realize you're fishing with it all day when you fish all day with it. Ooh, a little something going on there. So you don't even know you're fishing all day with it when you fish all day with it. And but I wanted it to be able to do its thing. The other reason why I call it the GP 700 is because it's a 7-foot rod. And the reason why, what the GP stands for, is general purpose. And why did I choose to name it GP, right? Why would I call it a general purpose 700? Well, it's because I feel like this rod is a very light rod that allows you to fish multiple species and applications, right? Again, a 6 to 12 pound line rod and an osprey. That one might be an eagle. I think that's an osprey. Yeah, osprey. I'm going to be flying right behind me here in a second. The GP is general purpose, and my thought behind it's a 7-foot, 6 to 12 pound line rod that you can use for bass fishing, like I just did today. I caught a sweet bass just now, nice 18-incher. Probably ran a few pounds, right? I could use it for trout fishing. I could use it for perch, bluegill. It's not an ultralight, right? But it'll still be a good rod on a panfish. I could use it for walleye fishing. I could use it for some smaller bluefin trevally fishing. I could use it for some smaller rockfish fishing. So some of your nearshore applications in saltwater, I can use it for that. Speckled trout, right? So there's a lot of different things that I can use this rod for, and that was really my intent behind it. All right. So I'm really digging this sweet potato pie. So what colors do my GP 700 fishing rods come in? So I make them in 3 colors. This one here, the seafoam with the gray wraps. I make them in black with the same reel seat and wind grips, right? Everything's the same. We're just talking about the changing in the color, right? And oh, by the way, these are Fuji KM guides, or KLM guides, I think it is. And so the black one is all black thread, no accent metallic thread or anything like that. Where I did the pigment work here, I use a little bit of black metallic pigment in there, so you get a little black metallic pigment, and then the color of the blank kind of popping through a little bit. And then, and black guides. Same Fuji guides, but they're just black, where these ones are the gunmetal color ones. And then, the pink one, I make a pink one, and that is basically exactly like this rod, with all the components and the thread wraps. It's just on a pink blank. Again, the same charcoal wind grips, reel seat, but the reel seat has a silver downward locking nut on it, and then all gray thread wraps. And then I used a little pink pigment work here, just like I did on the other two. The water's flat today.
I know.
I like it like this. All right. All right. One of the other things about this is a one-piece rod. Again, 7-foot, one-piece rod, and it is built on a rain shadow blank out of the Pacific Northwest. Great blanks. right, now we're just like looking for another one of those. I can't believe that's a nice 18-inch largemouth, man. I tell you what, that sucker was burning some drag, that's for sure. I had to crank that down a little bit. I want to go back over here in this hole. I think there's going to be one back here. There's a hole back here. Not really a hole, but there's a spot where it gets really deep. And then where it gets deep, it's surrounded on the edge by milfoil. So it's got some cover on it. Let's spin around over there really quick. Actually give it a shade of level. There we go. So I'm fishing right on the edge of this milfoil where it kind of gets a little deeper. I'm trying to bring it back up. Good cast, good cast. Retrieve it back towards me, towards that lip where it drops down. That was it. Wasn't fast enough on the draw. Oh. So let me ask you a question. If you guys, let me know in the comments block on what you think about my fishing content. I know I don't get a lot of traffic on my fishing content. And I don't know if that's just because people don't know that I post fishing videos, or if people just aren't interested in watching fishing videos on my channel. But leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about my fishing content, because I am curious, and I'd like to, of course, improve on my content making. Because I want to provide stuff that everybody wants to. Not everybody, but I want to provide content that you as viewers would find entertaining or useful. And so I would really appreciate some feedback if you're willing to leave a comment down below. Oh, damn. I just got bumped. Okay. We are definitely in this deeper part. And I'm hoping something's still hanging out in this deep end in the shadows. Almost didn't think it was a fish. Little guy. Even the little ones like them. All right. There you go, man. All right. Oop. Let's put this in backup mode. Get this milfoil off the deck. All right, that's not bad, man. It's 2 on the sweet potato pie. Strike King Ocho. I don't know if Catherine's caught anything. All right. Damn it. Right when it was going down, I think I missed that one. I felt like I got bumped right as it was sinking. All right, so we know there was a smaller one in here. Where's the bigger one? All right. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back out here, out of the shade for right now, and then see if I can connect over there. Dude, I just cannot believe I caught that 18-incher this morning. I mean, I can, but it's just totally unexpected. Love it, man. Love it. And then, hey, if you want to know a great way to support the channel, man, if you want to know a great way to support the channel here on YouTube, I do have a members only portion, if you will. So paid members here on the channel, you know, are able to access videos early before I release them. And then there's some videos I just leave over there on the member side. And so if that's something that you're interested in, there is a link in the description below down at the bottom. It talks about how to be how to join the channel as a paid member. But it's a great way to support the channel, help me continue to, you know, be able to make the content, and so you guys can watch these videos, and whether it's fishing like we're doing today or rod building or anything like that. Again, it's a great way to support the channel. And I have 3 levels. You can get in, you know, for just under $3 a month to be a member and get access to a whole wide variety of things. Then I have a couple other members tiers, if you will, membership tiers that go up in price a little bit. That give you, you know, other options and access to me with respect to, you know, answering questions about rod building or fishing. And then, or just things in general. All right. And you get some extra badges. All right. So I can see an edge. So I am like 2 feet above the milfoil, and then it drops off right here. I can see the edge. The milfoil, this like really dense forest of milfoil kind of drops off to a deeper end. Loosening up my drag a little bit. There we go. Had to tighten it down on that bigger one there. So, you know, I know in a previous video, I was starting to talk about, I was talking about a bunch of stuff, and I was just talking about life in general and some other things. And I was preparing to talk about why I created the channel. And, you know, I ended up, my fishing partner ended up coming over, and we were talking about something, and I totally forgot. And I couldn't remember what I was going to talk about that day, but I have since remembered. And that was about ReelBlue Custom Rods. Like, what is ReelBlue Custom Rods, and why I created the channel, and, well, why I created the business and the channel. ReelBlue Custom Rods is me, man. I am ReelBlue Custom Rods. I'm a one-person show. I do everything from sending emails, building invoices, pushing content, editing content, filming content, building fishing rods, fishing, I mean, you know, paying the bills, going to the bank, right? Shipping your package. Like, I am ReelBlue Custom Rods, man. I'm a one-person show. And, you know, I wanted to have something that was mine. I felt like I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit, if you will. Like, I've always wanted to go on and do something, be quite honest. At one point in my life, man, I wanted to open my own brewery. Because I loved building, or I loved making beer, right? At one point. But I realized it's probably not really something I want to deal with. I went and talked to a lot of people in the industry about it, a lot of breweries here in Pacific Northwest. And I just figured out, you know, it's probably not really what I want to do. Although I like it, that is probably truly just a hobby. And then a few years later, I was just like, you know what, man, I love building these fishing rods. I think I'm pretty good at it. People tell me that I'm pretty good at it. And it really allows me to just be creative and be myself. And so I was like, what the hell? I'm going to open up a custom fishing rod business. Then it came down to figuring out the name. Man, I had all kinds of names I was working on. Task Force Rods, Task Force Fishing Rods, Area 13 Fishing Rod. Like, I had all kinds of names, and there's purpose behind all these names. And I wasn't sure, right? But ultimately, one day, hanging out with my wife, and we were throwing names around, and it was her idea, ReelBlue Custom Rods. And I was like, holy shit, man, that sticks. Great idea. And so that's how I came up with the name. And then, you know, I started, you know, build an Instagram account, have a Facebook page, right? And that's kind of what I really started with. And then I started working on a website and getting a website up and running. And then I was like, you know what? I think I also want to have a YouTube channel where I can show people how to build fishing rods, right? Build a community of fishing rod people. Because I think, I mean, it's a very, you know, people on YouTube, man, you listen to all these people talk about how to grow your channel and how to be successful. And people talk about niching down, right? But I think that's right, maybe. I also think you got to have the right niche. You know, if I built a YouTube channel on how to be successful on YouTube, I'd probably be a freaking millionaire, right? But that's not my niche, man. I mean, like, I know how to do stuff on YouTube, but I'm not telling people how to create YouTube stuff. Everybody wants to create YouTube content, right? And so, like, or those that want to create or are interested in creating content or becoming a content creator, right? There's all kinds of stuff out there about, you know, making a YouTube channel and running a YouTube channel. Not everybody fishes, and not everybody wants to be a rod builder. And so I feel like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like, you know, my niche, the niche of rod building is just a bit smaller. However, I do feel like fishing rod building is something that will never go away. And someone is always going to be looking for an answer to something, to a question that they may have on rod building. I think I'm going to go into lily pads. And so they're always, you know, people are always going to have questions about lily pads, about rod building. And so I was like, hey, I'll just make content on rod building. And I have over 600 videos on this YouTube channel. And they are rod building. You know, there's fishing videos on there, and I'm really trying to, this year, 2026, I'm really trying to put some more fishing content on the channel, because I know there's people that do watch it, even though I said I don't get as many views as I do on some of my rod building videos or on my fishing videos as I do on my rod building videos. People still do watch my fishing videos, but I want to have more of my, more diverse selection of fishing videos. But anyways, so I built this YouTube channel, and then I really kind of just didn't do anything with it. I wasn't sure, so I was one of those people watching a bunch of how-to videos about YouTube. And then I finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all in, and I did, and I went hard, man, for 3 years, posting 3 videos. Well, I went hard for 3 years. Well, really 4 years. 2.5 years, I went really hard at posting 3 videos a week, man. And that's how I have so many videos. And, you know, I needed a break. So I took a break earlier this year for the first 6 months. I just took a little time off and, you know, focus on some other stuff on the business and work on other pieces of the business, if you will. And now this is where I'm at. But, you know, I built this channel, and I built ReelBlue Custom Rods, man, to, one, provide, you know, high-end custom rods to people that want them. And, you know, I want to build something for somebody that they truly want to have, that's going to stand out, you know, stand out from all the rest of the fishing rods around that person. And, you know, I want them to feel special about that rod. And in doing that, again, building a community, one fishing rod at a time, right? Like, I wanted to help build a fishing rod community on this platform, so people will always have a spot to go to watch content on building fishing rods. And that is important to me, man, because I feel like, you know, we're always learning, right? No matter how old we get, we're always learning, and we're always looking for ways to do stuff. And, you know, if I can inspire somebody that's thought about building fishing rods, but's been on the fence about doing it, they weren't sure, and I can get them to get in, build their own fishing rod, and then turn around, go out and catch a fish with that fishing rod, dude, that's a freaking win, right? Like, that's success in my book, right? Of course, I want people to buy my fishing rods. But if somebody doesn't want to buy my fishing rod, but they're interested in building their own, then freaking great. And I can't wait to see the rod you build and the fish that you catch with it, right? I mean, and that's just, it's just me being me, man. And that's just, you know, why I do this, why, you know, I love it, man. But I want to help people, and I want to help people build their own stuff. And so that's it. So that's kind of why I made ReelBlue Custom Rods. And that's what ReelBlue Custom Rods is. It's me. So if you have any questions about ReelBlue Custom Rods or about anything that I've been talking about, put it down in the comments, man. And I will respond. So I'm like right here. Let me shoot a video with my cell phone so you guys can see this. So like I am, you can see that milfoil is right in this one spot I'm at. It's right under the boat, but you can see right here where I'm casting at, right out in that darker spots. That's where that gets deeper, less vegetation, you know, those lily pads. So that's what I'm trying to target. But you can see this stuff is all over the place. And the wind's picked up because the lake is no longer flat, as you can see. All right. All right. So we're 2 fish today. One really freaking good one, and that smaller bass. So the water is going down. It's been warm here. We had a couple of days of some rain, but I'm surprised how fast this water is going down, man. It's like evaporating. I mean, this is a huge lake. And it's not huge, but it's a damn good sized lake. I'm just amazed in the summertime how much water we lose here in the Pacific Northwest, because it's really dry for us here in the summertime, but of course, extremely wet in the wintertime for the most part. So I'm just surprised on how much. I mean, just from last week, I felt like the water's gone down like 4 inches. All right, so I switched over to the craw. Switched over to the craw, got this little bugger. He's got it in there. Not bad, nice little guy, man. Swallowed that craw, California craw. Not bad. There he goes. Now let's go ahead and fix this back up. Yeah, so the bite died a little bit on the sweet potato pie wacky rig, if you will. And so I switched over to the craw. So now I'm just letting this sink to the bottom. And hopefully we can find another nice one down there like that. Yeah, it got up in the weeds there. That's all that was. All right. Throw that again. I'm just pulling it through that milfoil. Sometimes it gets hung up on there in your that weighted hook, right? So you're trying to make sure it's not a bass, because sometimes these guys will just grab it. They won't hit it. They'll just grab it and hold on to it. Yeah. All right. So we're on a board with 3, 2 on the wacky worm and 1 on the California craw. You're just pulling that through that milfoil. You get in spots where it's really thick, and then you get in spots where it's not that thick. And I like fishing both. And I really like fishing those transition spots as well, where it goes from thick to not so thick with the milfoil. Just take that grass off of there. All right, let's move a little bit. Let's kind of go back around this way. Oh, bass follow that thing all the way up to the top, man. Smaller bass followed it all the way up to the top of the water. So I think this craw is working right now. Geese. Early goose season opens up in a month. All right, come on now. Let's find another bass here. Tell you, man, you can't beat the summers in the Pacific Northwest. They are nice. A bit dry, but they are nice. And it doesn't get too hot. Get a few days usually where it gets pretty warm, but for the most part, it doesn't get too hot. You can get out and do stuff like this, man. Everything's green for the most part. Always something to do up here. If you're an outdoors person, there's always something to do, fishing and hunting wise, in the Pacific Northwest. And I'll tell you, you can fish every day of the year here in Washington State, and there is something worth chasing. Something's running. Something is running. You got the spring salmon run. You got the late summer salmon run. You got the fall salmon run. That's just salmon, right? Of course, then there's all the other freshwater stuff you want to do. Then we get into all the steelhead runs. You know, I mean, the coastal cutthroat in the Puget Sound, all kinds of other sport fish in the Puget Sound. Then you can go to the beach if you want, and you can, you know, catch a whole bunch of species from the beach. I've caught salmon from the beach. Surf perches, you guys know I love doing. Catch plenty of those bad boys from the beach. You fish the jetties, catch rockfish. I mean, there's always something you can do. And then, of course, there's crabbing, right? You can crab, Dungeness crab, red rock crab, lean cod in the summer or the late spring, early summer. I think it's May, June time frame. Always something. Oh, CH-47. You know, you can crab, and right now certain parts of the Puget Sound, and then when crabbing closes, you can go to the coast and you can fish for crabs with a fishing rod and a trap right off the beach and catch them. So there's always something to do here, man. Always. Granted, you know, the fall and the winter time it's pretty wet, but there's always something to do here. And then clamming, you can go get your clams, get your oysters, And then one of the other things a lot of people don't realize here in Washington State is spotted shrimp. We have different dates. They're target dates, they're window dates, if you will, in the Puget Sound in different areas where you can fish for spotted shrimp or trap for spotted shrimp, man. And those things are huge heads, a little bit smaller of a body, but they're big shrimp and they're super sweet and really good. A lot of people don't realize you can do that as well. So a lot of stuff to do here. All right, switched over. Oh, lost him. Damn it. Trying to get the camera on, man, and I lost him. He had it bunched down. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Man, I had him. Too much of that milfoil down on that hook with that bait pushed down. I didn't have a good set on him. He's sitting up here by these lily pads. There's this like little patch of lily pads right here. Damn it. Well, we almost had to hook up. Well, we had to hook up. We lost that one. This crawfish is taking a beating, man. Yeah, so the bite died down. That's the first bite I've had in a while. I tried to get the camera on him because I'm kind of taken back by it. But, yeah, so... And the sun is out, as we can see, nice and warm today. Yeah. So, anyways, hey man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You know, enjoyed talking to you guys about the business and why I created ReelBlue Custom Rods, and talking about the YouTube channel, you know, business stuff in general. And I'm so glad that I was able to show you guys. I'm so glad I was able to show you guys, you know, my GP 700 series rod, and show it to you guys in action and catch that 18-inch largemouth. Again, if you're interested in a rod, I'll have a link down in the description below. You can buy it off my website. And I'll have a link to this reel down there as well, in case you want to find a matching reel for it. Again, and I got it at Amazon. It's a Sugi Lang reel. I'm just backing it up a little bit. But yeah, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Until next time, guys, make sure you watch this next video here. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.